damn phones. Babylons can't crack the code.
This is B-MoneyTrading giving you an update where I ended for today. I was not able to record anything earlier this morning. Had to catch up on some things. It's really tough working a full-time job, anywhere from 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days, and then on top of that, doing a YouTube channel and trying to get it to get going, and then as well as staying on top of trading, and if you wonder why I work so much, it's because I've learned that it's going to take time, a lot of hard work, and good money management in order to really start to grow a small account. That this isn't going to be a put in $500, let's day trade it, we'll make 100, 200 in one day, and then the next day we'll do the same. It's basically, if you read the description, this is a channel for people that are serious about trading, that are serious about trying to actually take it to a whole new level, not trying to be a part of the club and get on Facebook and join these groups, and but are serious about it, that are thinking like the professionals, that are thinking about that the professionals aren't just dumping their whole account into one stock. They're managing risk, they're limiting their exposure, and mainly, more than anything that I can't press upon you enough, is that they're managing the risk. They're not being careless or reckless. They have a strategy and they're sticking to it, and they're patient. And that's really what it is being patient, getting yourself into positions at a good price. No one's going to ever get that perfect price that's going to hit the very bottom of it and buy in right at that moment when it hits the lowest price it's going to get for however long, and then all of a sudden it's going to start turning around and you're going to have this great gain. It's looking for opportunities with low risk, with a decent payout, and knowing when to get out once you've gotten in. Timing is crucial when it comes to the stock market. So with that said, if you look at the video I posted last night, I'd ended the day up $124, I think like 7 cents, which some people might think that's not a whole lot, but you have to understand this is a small account. We're trying to have realistic expectations, realistic goals. We're trying to think realistically. We're not going to make this $1,700 account into $4,000, $5,000 within a month. It's just not going to work that way. Not if we're trading conservatively. The chances are, if we're shooting to make this into if we're shooting to make it into $4,000 or $5,000 within 4 weeks or less, then the chances are we're going to blow the account up. We're going to lose everything. And so we're trying to take it from a different standpoint, because we know that if we make little bits of money on each trade, whether it's $5, $20, $50, that as that compounds and we keep adding each week, it'll grow into more money. And that's the whole goal. It's not to get in these high risk trades and gamble our account away, to basically just blow it up and then have to start all over. This is for those that have tried doing the day trading and bought into the hype that you can day trade and make all this money and you can do this and you can do that. It's not to say it's not possible. You have to keep in mind, these people have hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn. They have that kind of money and time that someone in my position, and I think a majority of people don't have that ability. They don't have the $50,000, $100,000 that they can dump into an account, not have to worry about the PDT rule, not have to worry about commissions, and can just, go at it. And our whole deal is that we're starting from zero, building our way up. We're not starting from 100,000 and then trying to grow it. We're starting from zero. And so zero means you're gonna have to work that much harder, be that much smarter, and look for good opportunities. It's I think the toughest part of it all is being patient. Being real patient and keeping, because it's easy to be patient for 5 minutes or 1 day or 2 days or 3 days or even a week. But then after that, you're like, okay, this is starting to take a while. I'm only if you look right now for the past week, I think I had a better week last week, but for last week, this past week from, right now to 7 days ago, I'm only up almost $70. Now I made 124 yesterday, and I was up 177 for the week. But I also said that there was going to be a pullback in the market. See, I went and bought into the hype, tried to do the day trading crap, and all this stuff, and it works for a short period of time. But for someone that's trading for 6 months, or a year, the likelihood is that they're going to blow up their account. They're not going to consistently, build from that. They'll have some good wins and make some good money, but they'll have even bigger losses, and the losses will outdo their wins. They'll have more losses with a higher average than their wins. They may have average $1,000 on a big trade, but the deal is that's once in how often, once out of every 5 trades. So the other 4 that you do, you're losing 400, 450, even 300. So you're still going backwards. And so this is for those people that are willing to be realistic and willing to put in the time and effort. How I knew it was going to have a pullback, I'm not a rocket scientist. I look at probabilities and likelihoods. Probability is that it was the day after election day, so if there was going to be a big push up, and then it needed to rest and pull back. And I'm thinking tomorrow we'll see it come back up some. Maybe not as much as it did yesterday, but I anticipated that I was going to lose some of the gains that I made yesterday, and I was debating on whether to put stop losses in on each of my stocks that I'm holding for selling half the shares if it drops a certain percent of where it was at when it closed. I decided to not. I decided that I was going to go ahead and hold on, and I talked about Friday, which is, well, technically now because it's 2:22 in the morning, that I was going to add to the account anywhere from $100 to $200, and that my goal was to get to 2,000 by the end of the week, by Friday. I don't know how the market's going to perform tomorrow. I think it's going to be up. I think I'm going to get close to the 2K. I'm not too sure I'm going to actually get there, and that's all right. It's a realistic goal, and sometimes we fall short from our goals, but it just drives us to push that much harder, and that, to get that close to actually obtaining it is an achievement in itself. And so with that said, we can look at some of the trades, but I want to try and keep this video short and just talk to those traders that are serious about this. I'm no guru. I have not mastered the market and trading, but these are things for the new trader to learn, overall the psychology behind it, and that if you're really serious about making money in the long run, because that's what we're not looking about right now, we're looking at the long run. If I can consistently put up 40 2% gains on 2% gains on a $2,000 account is $40. If I can consistently do that each day, which more than likely there are going to be some days it pulls back, then I can make an average of, I'm going to guesstimate, around 100 to 150 a week, which is not bad to start out with a small account. And on top of that, adding anywhere from 100 to 200 every payday, which I get paid weekly, so that is going to really help it grow to where 2% will change to 2% of 3,000, you know, to 2% of 4,000, and this is how we continue to grow the account. And you know, I'm not buying and selling stocks every single day, but I am keeping an eye on them, and I have a trading plan behind it. I have a goal. I'm not just, you know, recklessly jumping in stocks and carelessly just going in and out and trying to, you know, revenge trade and being impatient. Like, these are trades that are undervalued, that I'm waiting for them to hit their full potential, and they're not even close to it yet. You know, especially TQQ. We'll go ahead and pull this one up real quick. This will be the only one I'm going to do tonight. We see it's hitting the support area. I'm looking for it to push up tomorrow. I believe it will. And so we'll see what happens with TQQ. This is one we're going to focus on, because this is the one I think that's going to make me quite a bit of money. You can see there, pull up TQQ, where are you? So I'm up $30 on it. I lost $10 today on this because I expected there was going to be a pullback, not just on certain stocks, but the market overall, which was going to affect everything that I was holding, which is totally understandable. Now you can see that my average cost is $52.37. I have 8 shares with the average price $52.37. It's valued at $56.19 right now. So $52.37, remember that. I'll pull it up on here. So that's 52.37's right there. Give me 1 second. Go ahead and so you can see the 52.37 is right around this area. It's hard to do it on here to get exact. It's right there. Now you can see that's where I bought in at. You can see that's where I have my support line. It's showing that it hit that in the previous time and went back up. It's come down here, it touched it, wasn't able to push back through it, and came back up that day, and then it actually was able to make it through it, and it sold off. And I took such small position, and I even think at certain times I added on to my position when it was down. But with that said, you can see it came back up, it hit this point, wasn't able to break it, came down and after hours and then made another push, was able to break it. And so it's been playing around with this area, and now it's come above it, and so this is now the new support area that it's at now. And so I'm looking to see it push back up. I believe that this thing has a lot of potential, and if I'm patient enough, and that's where a lot of people miss out, is they're just not patient. They think, well, this is taking forever, and you go ahead and jump into something else. Well, they go jump into something else and they just lose everything that they gained on the previous trade, because they weren't patient just to stick in the previous trade and ride it out to its full potential. And so this one, you know, it still has a lot more potential. We know that the overall market, let's pull up the SPY really quick, and then I'm going to call it a night. It's making its comeback. Now, everybody knows that the market doesn't just go straight up or straight down, that it goes in waves. And so when people say, like here, that it's made this big jump, and so we're waiting, you know, for a healthy pullback, and that's what it did. It made its healthy pullback. People bought in once they saw that it hit a support area. You can see here, it's been resistance right here, and resistance back here. It acted as support. It tried to break through it, couldn't, it came back up. Something similar to TQQ. And so we can see right here that once it had a pullback back to its support area, people saw it couldn't break, and so that's why they bought in. This is the 4-hour 180-day chart. So this is why people bought in right here, and you see it make this big move back up, and after hours it kind of sold off a little bit, and then the next day it opened up and has been pushing up ever since gradually. Now we're up here. The likelihood tomorrow it may have a little pullback, and in the day around the same area. It's hard to tell. You can see that right here, this area, this was that 281.50-ish area. You can see it's acted as resistance prior. So we're going to see tomorrow if it's going to be able to push through it or not. I think today was a healthy day for it, to sit there and kind of test it and see what are we going to do, and so you can look further back. We'll keep going, see if we can find any other times that this area had acted as you can see, bam, right there. See right here, it's acted as resistance, and then over here it's acted as support. So as it breaks through it, we know the overall market's going to go up, and we know that likelihood that the other stocks are more, in general, likely to go up. Doesn't mean they will, but in general, there's a more likelihood for them to be bullish if the overall market, the SPY, is bullish. And so with that said, I try and be a little bit more straightforward to the traders and let you all know that this channel is for being realistic. This is not to sell pipe dreams and smoke dreams. This is not to get rich quick or push a bunch of BS on you to get your hopes up that you do this, pay X amount of money, and $1,000, and in 6 months we'll have you up to $100,000. It doesn't work that way. You're gonna have to work your ass off if you want to be successful in trading. I've worked my ass off to get to the point I am now, and I'm still nowhere as good as I had hoped to have been with having close to 3 years of experience trading in the market, as well as researching and reading and studying and doing all that whatnot. So with that said, I need to get to bed soon so I can get up for market open and see how it reacts. Also, I got some other things going on that I need to get done in the morning. Aside from that, one of the good things about trading with the way I am trading and my style, which is not anything unique to other people. I'm sure there's plenty of people that trade the same way as I do, if not better or similar. And what the deal is that like today I accidentally overslept, but I was pushing it, going on an average of 4 to 5 hours of sleep each night. Dude, it's not because I have to, it's because I want to be that much more successful, that I'm working crazy hours, mad hours, so that I can keep adding money into this account each week to hurry up and build it up, as well as studying all my trades, charts, doing this YouTube, uploading videos, and then just a lot going on. But that's what it takes. It's not going to come easy. If it was easy, then we'd have everybody in the stock market being millionaires and billionaires, and there's a reason why there's only a select few that make it in the market. And usually the people that make it in the market are the ones that work from sun up to sundown and then some. They're not the ones that I'm going to sit on the beach and drink mojitos and trade from a lawn chair on the beach with the umbrella, drinking a Corona with the fucking seagulls going in the background. It's not a legit commercial. Like, fuck, I mean, it probably makes no sense, but it's not realistic. Ultimately, it's not realistic. It's a freaking pipe dream. I would love if that was the reality of it, but the reality is it's people sitting behind a desk with multiple monitors, if necessary. Not all trading requires multiple monitors. It just depends on the type of trading you're doing and what you want available to you. And so for me, yes, I do have multiple monitors, but one is for like recording while I can look at the market. I can watch Thinkorswim charts as well as level 2 if need be. Usually the only reason I need level 2 is so that I can find a good entry point, and then that'll help me kind of, as far as when I'm really looking at buying in, then I can break it down and see where it looks like this is gonna probably be the best price I can get for right now, anytime, you know, within this vicinity of whenever it is I'm buying in. And then also when I go to sell. Other than that, I don't use level 2 so much, except for when it comes to buying and selling. Buying and selling. And then I have another monitor to where I can have news up on stocks and what's going on in the market or whatnot. And it's more of a accessory more than a necessity. It's all possible to do it off of one monitor. It just makes things a little bit more easier to manage. And so with that said, focus on managing your risk. If you fail to manage your risk, then you're more than likely to lose your money. You know, it's not by accident that people become wealthy or make profit on a consistent basis. It's by them managing risk, managing their positions, and knowing how to accept when they're wrong and take the loss instead of hoping that the loss doesn't get bigger, just coming to accept it and getting out. And so with that said, y'all have a good night. This video is probably already way too long, but for those who have subscribed and continue to view and support this channel, I appreciate it. It is a small channel, it's just starting out, so all the gratitude I can give for those that are willing to take a chance and kind of just see where things are going for me, and hopefully that they can benefit you as they have me. Like I said though, I try and keep it as realistic as possible. And so with that said, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow morning.